Catch the Craze is partnered with NSC Roadshow. NSCLiveTV.com and Inc. Marketing are proud to present the NSC Roadshow podcast tour. As a creator, come to be treated like a rock star as we take you on a tour with podcasters from around the world. Got a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or a project you would like to tell thousands about? Come and get on the tour. Are you a podcaster that would like more creators on your show? Come become a tour stop on the tour. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze today?
Today on the House of Craze, we will be talking to Artlee King Vasquez of NRG Comics. She will be on the show, and we will be talking about what's on the table. Stay tuned and find out.
Yeah, I've been looking for my dinner. Where's my dinner, woman? Let's get it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host with the most, the Crazy Man Farrah, and I am with
George the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, Sam? I'm over here answering text messages.
You got busted.
But yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on?
That's a good question.
That's a question. Well, let's first welcome everyone who's watching right now. This is Catch the Craze. We are on another episode of Catch the Craze, and we will have Artlee King Vasquez. She's going to be coming on a little later. We're going to be talking to her about her store, NRG Comics. So we'll be talking to her about that. And we have, our Get Your Mad segment. We're going to be talking some indie news and all of that other fun stuff. But it is August 27th.
Word.
So yeah, it's nearing the end of the year, dude. End of the summer, getting close to the end of the year.
Crazy, bro.
Yes.
Where's the time gone?
I don't know where you are living right now.
We got super variants. We got
variants all over the place, bro.
Yes.
We're not talking about Loki. We're talking about some crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. I finally caving in. I was like, yo, I can handle the variant. I can't handle the super variant. I'm like, all right, look, I got the Superman hat. I'm not. That stuff's like kryptonite. I was like, you guys they're adding strains upon strains upon strains. I was like, yo, all right. I give. Uncle.
It's too strong, man. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I'm scheduling myself to go get that first shot. I was like, you
know what? I hope safe than sorry.
I hope I don't get sick. I hope I don't get sick. I was just
so I did both, and I didn't get sick when I did either one of them. It was just the arm was a little sore. I mean, you got guns, you're good.
Yeah.
Although you've got muscles. It's gonna hit your muscle. Because you have more muscles, you actually may feel the pain.
I'm gonna break the needle. It's like,
you may. Word. Superman. So I didn't get sick. But yeah, you never know, man. You never know. My girlfriend did get sick though. She didn't get sick. She just felt sick. You know what I mean? Like one day. It was a one-day thing. She was like, yo,
nauseous.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Right. Yeah.
She's like 8 hours or 12 hours, I think, after she got it. She was fine all day. She's like, oh, that was nothing. That night, she got home. She's like, yo, I got the chills. What the hell's going on? She was done for the day. And then, but then it went away. It was so weird, dude. It was weird. But
I got chills. They're multiplying.
She got
and I'm losing control.
Sing it, Sam.
Sing it. Yeah, so I finally caved because my wife is like, my wife got it. And I took her both times when she got the first and the second. And she got it at the American Dream Complex, by Meadowlands, the mall. And and I was like, nah. I said, I take my concoctions. I still bench press 350. I'm good. But then every day, the news is just scaring the crap out of you, and they keep on saying we got a super strain. We got a, we got a what is it? A nuclear strain. We got we got a toxic strain. And I'm like, that's like, all right. That's like, all right. You got me. I'm good. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. It's like I'm doing it because, moving to Texas, I have family members, that I have to be concerned with, and I just don't want to be the cause of anything. So, I just hope that I'm good.
That's the thing, right? Like, if it was just me, dude, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? Come get me. Get me. Yeah. But when you think about what happens to the people around you, you know what I mean? That's the thing. That's the problem. I mean, and listen, there's a 99% mortality rate or whatever it is. You know what I mean at this point, but you just don't want to be that 0.1%. And you don't want to be the reason why that person doesn't make it.
Because I tell you right now, was it 20? Was it 2020? 2021, right? So March 2020, around that time, both Desiree and I were incapacitated. We couldn't even move.
Yeah,
we were.
You were done, right? You got it, right?
We know we had it. I didn't go and get to confirm it, but we know we had it because it started out like a typical fever, right? A flu. It's like the typical flu. Started out with the chills, the body aches, the migraines. Then it was the coughing. But then the reason why I knew I had it, because what was different from the flu was shortness of breath, and my chest felt weird, my throat felt weird, and it was hard to breathe at times. So I knew, and what got us through it, because I'm in one room and she's in another room, and we're both like, it's horrible, and we were just taking home remedies. We were doing a lot of ginger and turmeric and oregano oil and honey and green tea, and we were just making and lemon juice, and we were just doing our own concoctions, and we were just tea and soup. And I think it was about a good 10 days for me. It was about 8 days for her. Yeah, it was rough. But you know what the positive thing about it was, I got to see the first season of The Mandalorian. I was in bed watching Disney Plus the whole time.
Why, man? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
I was like, Disney.
Oh, that's great. That's great, man. It is what it is, but that's I guess it's gonna be time for you. So when are you going for the first one?
We're scheduling. My wife's scheduling it for me. She's gonna let me know. I'm trying to do it as soon as possible. So I'm hoping it, but this is the future. So I would have had it already. So I should be going for the second one now.
Right, gotcha.
The one thing we're trying to confirm is, can I get the first one here and the second one in Texas? Because you got to wait a few weeks.
You got to wait, like, I don't know, depending on which one you got. I got Pfizer. That's the other thing. I got Pfizer. She got Moderna. Moderna made her sick. Pfizer didn't do anything to me. So,
right. Desiree got Pfizer.
Yeah. So So I don't know.
Well,
Vaya con Dios, amigo.
Yes. Chalupalam, here I come to save the day.
But yo, what's in the news, bro?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I don't even know what that thing. There it is. No news is good news with Gary Canoes.
No, we got some news. We got some news tomorrow.
Yes,
tomorrow, the 28th and the 29th, NBN Con is on.
It's
NBN is on. We're gonna be on a couple of panels. I mean, it's the past, and we just got word from Sebastian Bonet. Big shout out to Sebastian Bonet of the Nerds of the Round. He's letting us know that I think he wants to. There would have been another panel you would have done. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But tomorrow we will be at the con, and there will be a podcasting panel. I'll tell you that for 100% sure. We will be on a podcasting panel. I will be doing a writing panel, And so we're going to have some fun. And you can join us. And the way to join us is to go to mbncon.com.
Yes.
Check that out. If you want, you can go in there for free. Check it out. Everything's there. But if you do want to get some VIP stuff, you're going to get a little swag bag, a little digital swag bag for $25. You can get that. Or you can go in there and for $50, you can get a physical swag bag. They send you a little crate, almost like a little box full of comics and stuff like that sent to you. So, but if you choose to buy any of those tickets, get a discount. Get a discount with our code. Our code is CDC4321. So if you haven't bought tickets to the show, go in there, go to their website at checkout, just type in CDC4321 and get yourself a nice little discount on us. So that's going on tomorrow. This weekend is on. Make sure you're there. Check it out. Yes. Conventions are coming back, bro. We've done a couple, and it's been fun. It's been a good old time.
Yes, good times. And I do that shit every time I hear you say good times. I think of that song. I'm like, what the hell?
Yo, also at this point we would have Forbidden would have been done, obviously. And we should be.
I should have gotten the check by now.
Yes.
From Kickstarter, because it takes 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. Correcto mundo. So
I'll be fulfilling the campaign from Texas.
Ooh, from Texas.
Yeah, so I'll be fulfilling the campaign from there.
Lone Star State.
So it might be a delay or two. But you're gonna definitely get it in the month of September. Just don't know if it's gonna be the beginning, middle, or end, but it'll be in September because I'll be unpacking.
Yes.
I'll be unpacking on the 20. Well, I would have been unpacking on 2 days ago. So unpacking for multiple room house is gonna take a minute.
I love watching this back just to see how much of it actually came true. You know what I mean? Like I love watching these shows just to see what actually happened. We record these in the past. So we're actually in July. And so you guys will be seeing these end of July. You guys will be seeing this about a month from now. So we'll see what happens. I can tell you on my end, as far as like what I've been working on with my projects, you join me on Instagram. I am posting a lot of stuff there for the Adventures of Wonder Duck. Yeah, the Adventures of Wonder Duck is live on Instagram, and I'm trying to post regularly. I got a little schedule going, so check that out. Make sure you follow, because next year I got some big stuff happening. So check that out for next year. I want you to do the voice. If that ever becomes a cartoon, you need to do that voice for me. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Wonder Duck. I don't know what we will be having at this point. What's in the cards for the rest of the stuff? I know you got some stuff. Hey, Duty was a big hit at ZoloCon last month.
Yes.
So I know that he's coming. But what else you got coming from the mind of Craze?
I'd say for 2021, we'll probably end the year with another Forbidden campaign, and we'll probably start the year with Catch the Crazies 4, the graphic novel. So we'll start 2022 with Catch the Crazies, the graphic novel. And somewhere in 2022, there'll be a launch of Duty. I'm not sure yet, because I want to finish both the Crazies and Forbidden, but somewhere in 2022, you'll find There's Name on My Toilet coming to Indiegogo. It won't be on Kickstarter. It will definitely be on Indiegogo. I will launch it on Indiegogo. Sorry for you Kickstarter cats. But because we're going to have 2 campaigns, Catch the Crazies and Forbidden on Kickstarter, I don't want to add another one in the same year. I'd rather just go to Indiegogo and do a separate campaign that has nothing to do with the other 2. And there's others. And then also the roster is going to be crazy between what I do and what George does. The roster is going to be crazy next year. So get ready, because we got to coordinate, so that way we're able to support each other and not overlap. So yes. And I think that's going to be the big thing next year.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of production meetings. But and I know that I know you're trying to bring Duty. Part of bringing Duty to the mainstream is also, everybody knows Webtoon. So webtoon.com.
Yes.
Check that out. Russ 5377, my other property, is already on Webtoon. Episode 1 premiered back in August 5th. So if you don't yet subscribe to my my channel or my work there on Webtoon, you can go to getyourmeds.com and check that out and join. So and I know that Duty's going to make his way
October duty webtoons. So look for duty
baby.
in webtoons in October, because the month of September, between unpacking and fulfilling Forbidden, I won't have time to do that. And and I will also. So it's a couple things that's happening in October. I begin October drawing Catch the Crazies and launching webtoons for Designated in My Toilet. So it's gonna be a lot of things happening. It's crazy.
A lot of things.
Yeah, it's just about managing my time, and then it might get a little challenging too, because when I get to Texas, I gotta bring income in. So I'm going to try to get something that works to my advantage as far as what I do. I don't want to go the corporate route anymore. I don't want to put on a suit. So I've been fortunate enough, and I said, anybody out there that in that corporate environment who's been trying to recruit me, thank you so much. But that the cat's out the bag. You know what I do. So this is the field that I'm trying to go after. I don't want to go in that route unless I have to. So right now I'm just looking to fall in line with something that complements my creativity and my skill set.
There it is.
But with that said, I'm feeling a little squeamish, so I think I need my medicine, bro.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
It's time for your medicine.
What's on the table?
What's on the table? So with the conventions opening up, earlier this year, and hopefully they'll still be open by the time this airs, because, of these strains that we're talking about. But with the conventions back, we had a couple of, I guess, not situations, but we're back. We're back at the cons, right? We did one in June, PowCon. It didn't go the way we thought, right? Then we did ZoloCon. That one was great. You went to Eternal Con. That's TBD, because it hasn't happened yet. But I'm thinking it's going to be great. Okay.
Right.
But I think that what makes a difference when you go to these conventions is not just your energy at the table. It's not just the people that are coming in. It's not just, the amount of people coming in, but it's also what you have on your table, how you're displaying your display on the table. That's going to make a difference. So I figured today, for those newbies that are starting out and, are going out to conventions and getting there, what do I put on the table? How do I do it? I figured let's talk to them a little bit about what has worked for us and what hasn't worked for us in the past, and even in this new re-entry into the whole comic book world. So let's see. So what doesn't work? What hasn't worked? Or what didn't work this time around? What did you find with some of the pitfalls?
Clutter. So PowCon was a great learning experience on multiple levels, but definitely about presentation and what was on the table. And I think what happens is, you only get a certain amount of space, right? And sometimes as creatives, we want to just fill every inch of space with stuff. And sometimes it just doesn't work. So, you have to decide. Are you there as an artist selling your commissions, or are you there as a comic book creator selling your books? That's going to help you really narrow it down. And that's the part that I struggled with when I went to PowCon, because I haven't done a real convention in a long time. I forgot about simplicity, right? So I said, let me take it all. And so I had pinups, and I had original art, and I had wood art, and I had sketch cards, and I had comic books, and I had kids books, and it was just like a whole lot of stuff. And so
and the banner said,
Catch the Craze podcast.
So the messaging was very confusing.
Nothing was cohesive. Nothing was in sync. And so was I an artist trying to sell my work as a commission artist? Was I a comic book creator trying to sell books? Was I a podcaster trying to get guests on my show? No one really knew. So and so when I took a hard look at it, I realized, this is confusing. So I took that education and I applied it to ZoloCon, and I simplified. And in ZoloCon, if you've seen, I should have been prepared and had a picture of the table. In ZoloCon, if you've seen,
the background image on that little thing is your table. actually, but it's hard to see it on there unless you blow
Oh,
it
look
up.
at you. Look at
Yeah,
you
that
getting
that
creative. Let me see.
that is the table. Yeah, that is
There's
the
the
table.
table. Boom.
Yeah.
Look at that. Boom, shake, shake the room. Outside of the coffee cup, if you can see that, what it was is you knew that I was selling the comics that I worked on and created. So
Hmm.
the comics were laid out flat and they were stacked up high. So it was about 10 comics deep each issue. And so now you can go to the table and you could peruse. And you're like, oh. And I had just one strip of my original art on the side. And there were no pinups on the table. The pinups were behind the table on the floor in the event that someone said, hey, because I had a menu. And on the menu, it said what I had available. And if you didn't see it, if someone wanted a pinup, they could inquire. And then I would bring it up from under the table and show it. Which was, for me, the one opportunity would be to have a backdrop that had all the pinups available, like most indies do. I didn't do that. I had a banner that said indie comic artist Samuel Vera. That's what changed. So now people knew he's an artist, indie comic artist. He does comics. This must be his comics that he's doing. And it was simplified. It was easy for everybody to understand, see, pick up, and shop. And so I had a better event, and I had a return on my investment from it. I made back the table, I made back the hotel, I made back the banner. So where I couldn't say anything close to that at PowCon.
Right.
And it was because I take ownership. My messaging was just distorted. So I think the big thing is just be clear on what you're trying to say. Are you a writer and you're selling your prose? Then you should have a backdrop that says, George Medina, comic book writer, or, writer, novelist, whatever you want to say. And then have images of your cover underneath your name, and then make sure what you have on the table represents exactly what that banner says. Yeah. So I think that has to be in sync. And that would for me was the biggest takeaway from that event.
Yeah, I think that because you got to remember, like you said, you mentioned it, spacing on the table, right? A lot of these shows will give you a 6-foot table. Sometimes it'll give you an 8-foot table. I think part of it also is the presentation, have a banner, and make sure it's nice and high so that people can see it from far away, because there are so many people at this convention. There are so many other artists that you're going to get lost in the shuffle. So you want to kind of stand out. And I think the way to do that is to have, you had an 8-foot banner. Unfortunately, it didn't go up that high, but the 8-foot banner, I think that's a nice way to say, oh, okay, there's that table, especially when you have people who maybe want to find you at the show. Yo, where are you? Oh, look for whatever, this banner. And there you are. They can go right to your table. I think you spoke about clutter, and I agree, man. Like, I think having too much of things that don't go together, I think confuses people, right? Like if you're sharing a table with your buddy, like don't have everything all mixed up and jumbled up, like kind of like have some kind of order, only because there is no room, Right. So you need to have that break, like, okay, this is what I'm working on, this is what this person's working on. And even when you have all of your stuff on the table by genre, right? Like I know you had your the Forbidden was all on one side. Forbidden was all the covers here.
Yes.
Boom.
In fact, I'm pulling up the image right now on the screen.
Catch the Crazies. Yeah, Catch the Crazies all on another side. And then Jonathan Syfax, big shout out to him. He was there. He had a couple of feet of the table there for his stuff.
Right.
But I think that that's part of like what you need to have on the table. I also believe that because of the digital world we live in today, I think that we need to have a way to have people sign up to your, whether it's gathering, email addresses, just so you can keep in contact with some of these people. A lot of these people they're on social media.
Like George is giving me bow right now.
Why?
He says, Sam, you didn't capitalize on emails. I didn't. I forgot.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm just saying like that. I think that's something, again, PowCon, one thing happened, you as you do more shows, you're like, oh shoot, I should add that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't even think about that when you went to ZoloCon for me to say, yo, Sam, do you have that list? I
forgot all about it
now about it. Yeah,
I forgot all about it. I was too busy taking pictures and excited that I was having a better event than I did at PowCon.
but it felt good to be able to take photos with some of these folks, and you'd be surprised how willing they are to, like, yeah, take a photo, no problem. You know what I mean? So, and in the day of social media, I think tagging some of these people and having them become fans of your pages at that point, so they can follow you on your social media, so you can see where you're going next. Because you're a post monster, right? You like to post, so you do a lot of that. It's good for these people to start following. Oh snap, this is that guy that I met at the convention. I remember him. Yeah. Oh snap, he's got another ball. He's got to be at another convention. Let me follow him.
Right.
So, we got to look at it like that way as well. It's a new world from when we were doing it, right? Back then it was just the emails, and a lot of those emails got lost because nobody really used them. Right. Now you use that. Now that's how you find people.
Yeah. I mean, I sent out an email blast today to the 60 people that we have on the distribution list, and just reminding them of the campaign that ended, but it wasn't going to end. But it's important to have that, and sometimes people need reminders. Sometimes they'll forget about something, and then I just remembered. I forgot to pledge to that, or they're going to be at this event. I want to make sure I go there.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing like that. We always talk about that. There's nothing like that one-on-one, just interaction with the people. Just be able to share a laugh or a conversation, a story, and you'd be surprised how that links you to these people, and where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So I think that there are opportunities everywhere when we do these conventions. We had John Ottinger on the show long ago, The Wars, and you saw his setup. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm doing San Diego next year, that's my measurement. That's my gauge. He's the prototype of like what should, because he's branded his property, his IP. So his entire investment is on Dweors, and so he created this beautiful, elaborate world that you can walk into as a booth and enjoy. And so I was like, all right, so that's what you're going up against. So that level of creativity, that level of perfectionism, So it's like, all right, if I do a big event like San Diego Comic-Con, I have to bring my A game, right, and that would mean, if I'm doing it 6 months out, I'm planning it, I'm designing it, I'm thinking about the look, and all that other stuff. And I think that's the big. So I think if you're gonna do a big event, go big or go home. Yeah. If you're gonna do a modest event, you can do exactly what I showed you in that picture there at ZoloCon, and it was nothing spectacular. It just made sense. Made sense. Everything was laid out. It was easy, peasy, and that was it. But if you're gonna do something where you got Hollywood there and you got all the big wigs, then you want to attract some attention, go big.
Right. Yeah, no, it's true. Absolutely right, man. I mean, you also gotta look at the crowd and where you're going, and determine what kind of product works for that event. I think you gotta take that into consideration as well, so that you know how to package what you're taking with you. And I think part of it, and we've talked about this before, is not overpacking, or not taking too many things with you. Thinking you're gonna make everything back in one shot.
No, so, and that's the thing.
Mindful of that.
Exactly. And so I think you have to be realistic, and just strategic. I think, and then just common sense. I think common sense will always prevail. And when you go to an event, walk around, and gauge what your colleagues are doing. Look at other people's setups. That's what I do. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't think of that. Oh, that looks hot. Oh, I'm gonna apply this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take that idea, but I'm gonna make it this way. The whole thing is about getting better and better and better. Yeah. So that was Get Your Meds, and I see that our guest is in the waiting room. So we're going to cut to commercial. And when we come back, we're going to bring Artlee into the room. But remember, if you have an event coming up, if you have a Kickstarter campaign coming up, and you need to promote it 3 months out, there's no better way to promote that campaign than by.
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out how to get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back. But in the meantime, how do you spread the word? for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
All right, we're bringing our guest in. Welcome.
Yes.
Hello there.
Artlee, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. There she is. Welcome back, everybody, to Catch the Craze. We are sitting here with Artlee Vasquez. How are you? How's everything? How are things?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. You're coming in. You're representing NRG Comics. And it's been a long time coming. We met a while ago, and, we've been talking about coming on the show, and here you are.
Totally. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries. You remember Sam?
Yeah.
Hola.
Hey,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo está?
So Vasquez, my mom's last name is Vasquez.
Oh, that would be my husband.
the shy guy. He's like, no, I'm not going on. You go on for us. You represent.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll have them both.
There you go.
Yes. It's Artlee King Vasquez for those that don't know.
Yes.
So Artlee, so tell us a little bit about you and and just give us your background story, your origin story, however you want to call it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself so everybody knows who Artlee King Vasquez is.
So I born and raised in Brooklyn. So basically I've always been a comic book, cartoon, kind of a very nerdy kind of kid. My cousin, like me and my cousins, we grew up, reading comic books. I grew up obviously watching cartoons, good early 80s cartoons. I originally had a dream of becoming a voice actress because everybody used to say that when they used to call my house, they used to say my voice sounded like a cartoon character. So I was like, I should probably look into that. But that's probably still my goal, I guess, if you want to say, voice acting and stuff like that. And in the meantime, me and my husband, we sell, trade, and crawl comic book conventions.
Nice. Yeah, no, you know what? It's funny you say that about your voice, and like I went really quick just to look through your website, and I heard you. I was like, oh yeah, totally. I can see that. I can see you kind of voicing a character. Who would you want to do the voice of? Like, who did you ever think about that? Like, who would I voice?
So fun fact, when I was younger, before my voice cracked, I actually did used to practice as Eric Cartman from South Park.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. I know he's not the best one to be mimicking, but it used to be fun.
That's funny. What kind of comics were you into as a kid? Like, what did you grow up reading?
So I grew up reading a lot of Marvel comics, definitely. I did read some of the Archie comics, like the girlier ones. Probably, I think the one series I remember reading like off the shelf was the original Cheryl Blossom, the Archie comics. Those were probably some of my favorites. And then my uncle, who had his comic book collection, like would just let us read all his old Spider-Mans, and those were probably some of my favorites. Just sitting there and like reading them with him.
Nice. Yeah. Are you still a big Spider-Man fan, or?
I've evolved to, I guess, more DC comics now. I'm definitely into the whole. I would say right now, Spider-Gwen is definitely my favorite, and the Green Lanterns series is my favorite. The Jeff Johns ones.
Gotcha. Yeah, Jeff Johns, great writer. He's done a lot of good stuff. But so you were born and raised in Brooklyn, and then so how did you meet your husband, and how did that whole thing start with NRG?
So that's funny. I've actually known my husband since I was about 13 years old. So we go way back.
Wow.
He actually used to run work at the anime store downtown Brooklyn in the Bargain Bazaar. And I used to go there and I bought my Sailor Moon bootlegs from him. So I would just come in every so often, buy my Sailor Moon bootlegs, and, we slowly became friends. And then, we hung out. It was fun actually finding people who like the same stuff that I did. I'm like, oh, good. These guys are just as, geeky as I am. So I met his friends. We all became friends. Then eventually I moved away and lived in Albany for a few years. And then when I came to visit my mom one day, he was still working at the store. I didn't think he was still there, to be honest. It was really like one of those. I was walking around downtown. I walked past the bazaar. I'm like, I wonder if he's there. And sure enough, there he was all those years later. I'm like, this is a good thing. So that's kind of it. And then here we are almost 10 plus years later.
So who asked who out first?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a funny story. So like I said, I was visiting my mom down when I came down to visit from Albany, and I had just gotten out of a bad relationship. So I was kind of down, and like I said, walking the bazaar, saw him there, and we just kind of talked and chatted it up, and then I kind of started getting upset. Like I started crying, and he let me talk about it. He was like, "You want to go to the movies?" I'm like, "I have no money." He's like, No. Do you want to go to the movies? I'm like, oh, he's asking me on a date. Probably say yes. So he said yes. And we actually went to go see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and cracked jokes the entire time during the movie.
Nice.
And he never got rid of me.
So Anthony made the first move. Good for Anthony. Good for him. So how long? Like what made you move out to Albany? School or?
I was going to school, and I had a cousin up there who was kind of helping me out after I was working for a little bit, but I wanted to try to get my degree, and I thought, going up there, I'll try see what happens, and then was there probably maybe about 3+ years, and I was, you know what, this isn't for me. I miss mass transit.
Yeah, that and it's freaking freezing up there.
Like, that too. I don't know. Like
the winter is no joke up in Albany.
Yeah. Plus, I had no car, so I'm over here walking the streets in the cold. I'm like, oh no, where's the bus? I need to go home.
No, chill. Yeah, no, I got you. So that's funny, man. So you come back to Brooklyn. You and Anthony, you start dating at this point. When did the idea for this to put your interest together and make it a bit? When did that start? When did that whole idea come?
So that was actually kind of that was always our long-term goal. We always wanted to say, like, you know what, we're really good at this. We know what we want. We know what we're talking about. We eventually wanted it to make it our business, because we always have, like, I have friends who come to me all the time. Is like, hey, have you seen X, Y, and Z cartoon? What do you think? I want my kids to watch it. Like, people have always come to me for my opinions and stuff like that. They come the same thing for Tony when it comes to his comic book knowledge. And we're like, you know what? We're pretty good at this. Like, we can actually make this what we want to do. Plus, he was working at a job that was slowly making him sick. While my job is fine, I'm like, this is not what I want to do. So we decided, you know what, let's bite the bullet and see what happens, So we started back in 2018, around August. Actually, yeah, August 2018. We're going on 3 years now. So 3 to 4 years, going on 3 years. I can't remember anymore.
Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. Artlee, that's what happens.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, this is
track.
Like, we're still doing it, and it's been fun. We're actually having as much fun as we can doing this. So we're like, you know what? Let's just keep going, see where it goes.
So is this a home business, or do you have a brick and mortar location?
It's home now. Eventually, we may want to look in brick and mortar, but when you really think about it, you kind of get stifled with brick and mortar stores, and we like really going towards like conventions and meeting people and doing shows and stuff like that. That's really what we prefer to do. So while maybe we might do brick and mortar, I think we're pretty more comfortable just doing online sales and shows.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what's interesting about that is that you guys probably started the business at a good time, 2018, and then the pandemic hit. So if you would have gotten into like a brick and mortar store, you guys probably would have been, you probably wouldn't have made it.
Done.
It's funny too, because with the pandemic, that's when we really started like pushing ourselves. It's like, all right, look, everybody's stuck inside. We got all this stuff here. We got to get it out. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. The stuff that you guys are selling, is this stuff from your own personal collections, or is this stuff that you kind of went out and bought and now you're flipping it? How do you guys do that?
It's a little of both, a little bit from column A, a little from column B. When we go out and buy stuff, we tend to buy doubles and triples.
Mm.
So, like, if I have something in my collection, I know for a fact that I definitely bought at least two. So I'm okay, like, letting go of something that I have because
Mm-hmm.
I already have a copy of it somewhere. Same with him. Like, he has doubles and triples of certain books, or it's just things that we had in our collection where we're saying, you know what? I'm okay letting this go. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we learned, as much as you want to keep everything because it's yours. You worked hard to get it. You worked, to find that one thing that you wanted. But you also have to remember, like, if you're gonna really do this business, you have to let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk about take us through the process. You guys sat down. You said, you know what? We're going to jump in to shark infested waters. We're going to take the plunge. Talk about the first step. What was the first thing you guys had to do, and walk us through the process leading up to your name and your logo.
Okay, so first step was us sitting down, not screaming at each other over how we're actually going to do this, and me screaming at him, "You can let that go," or "You can let that go." Like, you have four of those. Put it back. Let it go. So that's number one. Number two, I guess the next step was obviously, picking out a name and things like that. Uh, Funny story, actually, I didn't choose the name of the business. My sister did. My best friend
Mm.
actually came up with the idea of NRG Comics. So if anybody's getting the credits, my friend Janice. And,
Big shout out to Janice. Big shout out.
big shout out to my girl. And then, because once we had the name, I'm like, this makes sense. And then the next step was us consolidating, seeing what we have. Is like, okay, we put this in the pile for, so we have toys, comics, pops, and miscellaneous. So we're picking, okay, these comics go here, these slabs go here, these pops we have here, miscellaneous, and everything else.
Right.
So it's a matter of organization,
Mm-hmm.
of trying to figure out what we have, what we're willing to part with, what we need to get extra of, and then seeing where exactly where we're going to branch out from, and obviously getting in contact with distributors to get newer stuff, because some people want the new stuff. Like, we want to actually try to do all encompassing. We don't want to just be comics. We just don't want to do pops. We just don't want to do toys. We want to try to do as much as we want our hands in everything.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. But as we're starting to grow, we're letting go of more things, getting more things. We're learning that, yes, you have to spend money to make money. To be fair, that's mostly me, because cheap. I admit it. I stand firm, very cheap. But it's a process. It's a long, very long, and screamful process. But we're getting there.
Right. So what does NRG stand for?
I was just gonna ask you that. Yeah.
So what happens when you say energy fast?
Energy.
Ah,
Yeah, energy.
there you go.
There you go.
Oh.
Now, is it because you have a lot of energy? Is it because he has a lot of? Is it because you guys are just like those people that are like, yeah, you're so excited about your stuff? Is that part of how she came up with that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The original was gonna be Crew Vasquez Comics, but when my friend dropped the name, I was like, "Ooh, that makes more sense." Because she knows how much we put into
Nice.
comic collecting and pop culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. So how do
That's
you
awesome.
so let's talk about, because you're a business now. So how do you determine your budget, and how do you project what you need to earn by month in order to keep that ship going?
Um. So originally we didn't have a budget set up. What we did was we sat down and we said, okay, this is what our monthly household expenses are. This is how much we spend. We were saying how much we spend on us buying comics personally. It's like, okay, let's see that number, and we'll just say, for the sake of argument, let's say we triple it, because that's what somebody else is looking to get.
Right.
So we're like, okay, so this is how much we would need to at least sell/make to kind of coincide with how much we've spent.
Right.
So while this is still a technical side business, we're slowly trying to figure out, okay, how much can we sell in a month to eventually make this our full-time thing? Like, because that's honestly the goal. You want to be your own business person. I know it's hard. Everyone, is trying, especially nowadays with the pandemic and everything. But our main goal, at least in my eyes, this was going to be our main thing.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have, the stability of a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. But you always want to try to do something that you're having fun with.
Right.
So as we're still going towards, let's say 2022, we're sitting down saying, all right, this show is coming up, that show is coming up. We need to know how to budget to get into the shows, budget how much money we're going to be able to make during said shows, because the money we make from the last show will pay for the next show and the next show onto that and that, until we have a steady flow to say, okay, we have a show booked at least once a month for the next 12 months. And that's where that's where my mind is going right now. So let's say we have a show this weekend. We want to have another show in August, have another show in September. We want to at least have 2 things booked every month. So that's how we kind of keep our ebb and flow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you guys determine the pricing of the stuff? Like, if you're selling something, not necessarily that it's new, because if it's new, you market value, whatever it is.
Right, exactly.
But if it's something that you have that, maybe it's a little older, how do you guys determine the pricing on that? Are you doing research online? Are you talking to other vendors? Like, how do you determine the pricing on certain things that are older, not so much the newer stuff?
So while we don't like going by eBay prices, we use eBay as a kind of precursor to say, okay, this is what it was last sold on eBay, but then we also calculate if they add shipping, free shipping, or something like that. Like I said, I don't like eBay prices because eBay will always try to screw somebody over for something that is not really worth that price that it's going for.
Right.
So let's say I'll use an example of one of the pops that we use. Let's say if it's one of the vaulted pops from 2017. You say on the Funko app it's worth $70. That's what I'll go by. If this application says this is what it's worth, this is what I'm going by. I'm not going to try to raise the price because I'm trying to get your dollar. No, I want you to get it for the price that at the time that it shows on the website, that's what it's worth. If it changes from day to day, I will try to do my best to give you the best deal.
Right. And that's why it's always good to have a table at a convention, because if you can give that person the price that's on the website, but they don't have to pay shipping and get it from you right then and there, why not take it right now, right? Because, hey, you're not paying shipping. You're right here. Take it. That's the price you're going to get it for on the website. You're saving shipping. Let's go. You know what I mean? There is no haggling at that point, which is probably the most, to me, would be like the most, I guess, annoying part of it, like just the whole, but it's part of the business. I mean, it's part of the game, right? Like it's what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also like to say that people like tangibility. They like to be able to hold it in their hands and say, okay, I know for a fact that this is the thing I'm going to purchase, because even on eBay, most people who have eBay listings, they use stock photos. So you don't know what you're getting.
All right.
You could be getting something that's damaged and you won't know until you get it in your hand. I'm like, wait, that's not what I paid for.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So
now you also, I'm sorry, Sam. So you also ship though, right? You do people can order from your website though, right? Or no?
Right now our website is unfortunately down, but once we get back up, yes, we will be able to do shipping. The 50 states. We're still working on international in Canada, so kind of working out how that goes. So for right now, U.S. only.
Gotcha.
So as a seller, I have a 2-part question. What's the most sought after thing that the popular items that you guys sell, and then what is something that you wanted but you just couldn't get?
So right now, everybody's obviously into Funko Pops, comics and stuff like that. If I had to say something from each category, it would definitely be right now. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I know what slabs. It's a little bit different. I know people are always looking for that number one of something.
Right.
The number one graded at like a 9 something. Actually, no. What did we just get? We just got the first appearance of Ghost Rider recently.
Wow.
Like I think we actually got it at PalCon. So we got it there. I know most people usually go for Grail Pops. Me personally, I'm still because it's me. I like to go for what is it? The Spider Gwen with her. I think it's the number. Is it the 24, 25? I think it's the 25. Any of the J. Scott Campbell covers graded, signed graded at a 9.8. Those are my goals.
Do they have Funko Pops for like the Masters of the Universe stuff that's out right now, or like the Loki stuff?
Yes, but they also had a original line from when it first launched back in 2013. Really? They had He-Man and She-Ra. The She-Ra's going for at least $500. Honestly, if I had to pick a grail, that would be my grail.
Right. Holy cow. Yeah, because that, with the show being on Netflix right now, I'm sure that those things, did that drive up the price, you think? The fact that it is on Netflix right now, did that drive up that price?
No, because that particular mold they stopped making, that's what really drives up the price. That particular one, because it's one of the first ones that came out. As the new molds come out, sometimes the prices will rise and fall, but again, it all becomes, quote, vintage after a certain point, or vaulted, as they say in the pop community. Got it.
I have a question. I used to subscribe to this thing called Loot Crate. You ever heard of Loot Crate?
I have Loot Crate.
Yeah, right. So how valuable are those things in that? Because I have some pop toy, like Funko Pop. Like I have I think it was they had a Joker Funko Pop. Like how valuable are those crates? How valuable are those things?
It honestly depends on what you get in the crate. I usually go by, like I said, the Funko app. It'll tell you how much it's going for now. Sometimes a pop that came in that crate could be only worth like $20, and it can, it all depends on. It's like the stock market, rise and fall. The sellers determine the price of the product.
Gotcha. Yeah, interesting.
That's interesting. So what was one of the things that you spent a lot of time trying to convince your husband to let go of, that he was just adamant that he didn't want to?
Oh, God. We don't have that much time. Definitely a lot of his, a few of the slabs, definitely we had to let go, but it was more of a lot of the raw books, a lot of his Amazing Spider-Mans. I just was like, dude, we can get them again. Please let these go. Please. I told him, I promised him, I will find you one on everything. I will find you one. Actually, I actually did get him a first appearance of Deadpool, a 9.6. Because I told him to let that go, and I was able to find him another one, a 9.6. So I made good on my promise.
That's great. That's great. I'm sure that the first appearance of Carnage is going to probably be a lot of money on that Amazing Spider-Man with the movie coming out.
It slowly is becoming that. There's a lot of them out there nowadays. I think we do have one somewhere floating around. I can't remember, but I'll have to ask him eventually. But I know we have some floating around in our many boxes.
I hear that. So what are the plans for the future, Artlee? What's the plan for NRG? Like, what are you guys planning? What's going on?
Definitely got a lot of shows coming up. Like I said, we have a show this weekend that we are nowhere near prepared for, but we're going to do it anyway. But definitely lots of shows, lots of conventions. The world's opening back up again. We want to try to get out there, get as much possible, get it to our customers, because they come looking for it. Like, if they can't go, we're going to try to get there and see what we can bring back. Definitely go convention-wise, we're going to Fan Expo Boston in September. Nice. And fingers crossed, we're going to C2E2.
Nice. In Chicago. Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, big time. These are butts in Chicago.
Awesome. Yeah. Basically. Do you what's coming up this weekend? What do you guys got going on this weekend? Well,
so we're actually going to be in Long Island. It's going to be at the what's it called? It's going to be at the SummerCon Festival. It's going to be at the Elks Lodge in Lynbrook, New York.
Oh, okay. All right. And so now, just so you know, we are recording this. This will air on August 27th. So whatever you guys going on after that, which I think C2E2 is next year, right? Isn't that next year?
E2 is actually going to be December this year. So by the time by the time the show airs, we will actually be probably in Boston, which is going to be on Labor Day weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In September. That's awesome.
Nice.
Wow. So now we had a little discussion earlier before you came on about what's on the table at a convention. So what will be on your table at your conventions? What are going to be some of the things that you will have on your table for people to grab?
So most times on our table, we definitely have a lot of our wall books. We get different ones. We get Image, we get Marvel, DC, a lot of key books. At least we try to get a lot of key books. We definitely have slabs on our table. We have a lot of vintage toys like the Japanese Transformers. Those are the ones those are the things I told him he has to let go of. He was actually willing to let go of his old Transformer collections. I'm like, okay, I'll let that slide. We're definitely gonna have some of our Grail Funko Pops on our table. So and a lot of toys. We usually have a mixed bag. We don't have just one particular thing. We have almost everything that somebody would be looking for. If not, and Pokemon cards, because everybody's doing Pokemon cards. So we get a little of everything.
Awesome. So where can people reach you guys?
So obviously you can find us on our website, nrgcomics.com. Definitely give us a follow on Instagram, NRG Comics NJ. Same for our Facebook page, NRG Comics NJ. We're mostly on Instagram there. We do have a YouTube page. Same thing. It's all NRG Comics NJ. I'm going to start doing our live streams again.
Nice.
As I work on my work schedule and things like that. Hopefully before we go to Boston, fingers crossed, I'll have at least 3 more live streams up. Like I said, once I get my act together and I can sit down and actually record them. But yeah, definitely give our YouTube page a follow, because that's where we're going mostly straight.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Artlee, for coming on and talking to us about your passion.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we'll definitely want to follow up and learn how your event at Z2E2 went. Yeah,
Yes,
that sounds
definitely.
exciting.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So thank you again, and your links will be in the profile below, and we'll send you the information once this gets posted.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Artlee, have a good one. Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was Artlee. That was fascinating. I always dig the personal stories. I thought that was pretty fun. About how people met, and the fact that they both have the same passion, which is pretty dope.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
That just makes it for a better relationship.
Dynamic duo right there, right?
Dynamic duo.
They love the same things. They work together, and here they are, NRG Comics. So that's awesome.
So check them out. If you a collector, hit them up. They might have exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So I know I might be hitting them up down the road once I go through my database to get pricing on stuff. I have tons of stuff that I want to see what I can move them for. But yes, that was good. And another fascinating show on Catch the Craze podcast. And so if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, share it with a friend. We need to get this bad boy monetized, so we need your help to do so. And if you want to be on the Catch the Craze, all you have to do is hit us up and DM us, and any one of our social media followings, and just say, hey, how do I get on? And then we go from there. So it doesn't matter what you do. You could be a toy collector, you could be a sculptor, a dancer, a singer. If you're in the indie business and you're trying to be and get your star to shine bright, then we want to help put a spotlight on you.
That's right. And don't forget that our 2-year episode, our anniversary episode, is coming up.
Yes.
It should be coming up in a couple of weeks, or actually next week or something like that. Yeah, we're right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
We will be doing a live show for that, so check that out. We're going to have some fun stuff going on. More news to come on that. And tomorrow we will be at the Ambient Con. So make sure you're on there and check us out there as well.
Yes, remember, CDC 4321. CDC 4321 is a discount code if you want to get a discount to be a VIP and get yourself some swag. So, with that said, I am Santa Cruz Manvera.
And I'm George the Crema Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh my God.
He described me. He said, "I'm the." What?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.